Welcome viewers, this is Wadidja, as in what did you say, what did you do, what did you think? Today I'll be discussing my preparation for the DLC and how I'm going about completing my next playthrough of Marvel Spider-Man 2. As you can see, this will be my third New Game Plus playthrough, as well as my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th 100% completion of the game. And again, this is in preparation for the DLC, which we have a firm understanding that it's going to be happening sometime in the near future. Hopefully it won't be 5-6 months away the way the new Game Plus took it. Hopefully we'll be getting that a lot sooner. And but to keep things understood about how Insomniac Games seems to be, giving this content to us, I'm quite sure that we'll have suits available to us in the DLC. Now, how they will be available to us is a mystery. They may just come and be unlocked just at the start. We may have to complete missions to gain access to the suits, or there may be some combination of situations which involve maybe completing a mission or for one suit, XP for another. Who knows? For the New Game Plus, you were able to start out getting the Hellfire Gala suit, but then you had to gain 9 levels of XP in order to access all the different symbiote suits which were available to us in New Game Plus. Then on top of that, when it came to the suit tech fusion, you had to have enough tech parts, rare tech parts, city tokens, and hero tokens, which you see at the bottom right as far as the currency, to gain access to all of that. And for me, I had to replay New Game Plus twice. It wasn't until my second playthrough that I actually had enough currency to unlock everything in the suit tech, as well as the golden gadget style that's available to us with the gadgets that required tech parts, rare tech parts, city tokens, and hero tokens as well. So it's no telling what might come with this new DLC. From what the leaks have been talking about, it should be an aspect relating to the Beetle. So we might get an outfit with some kind of color scheme in relationship to that, and maybe they decide to give us a golden, some type of gadget with a corresponding color scheme, to accent whatever gameplay or role playing we might decide to do. Or they may give us other gadgets, colors, to simply match some of the other suits for those role playing, desires. One never knows, but I do feel as though something's going to be required from us as players, besides just completing a mission. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? They may be generous and loving and say, "Hey, here's the suit, enjoy it," or or just you have to complete some mission first, and then you get access to the suit. So if it's not mission dependent, with this next New Game Plus playthrough, I should have the ability to be able to just get just unlock whatever outfits that are available from the XP and the currencies that I'll gain from this New Game Plus playthrough. Now, keep in mind, your XP does carry over to your new game saves. In case you're kind of curious or you didn't know, when you reach your maximum level from the base game, it says level 60. When you reach your maximum level from the ultimate level, it says level 9. Nevertheless, when you start a New Game Plus, a game save, the game save file does maintain it does save your XP that you've earned from your previous game save beyond what it shows in the like, for example, in the bottom right here, as far as reaching the maximum level. So you could gain XP for that in preparation through the DLC within your current game save without starting another new game plus, through stopping crimes, doing air tricks. You do get XP in various ways through certain missions. For example, I play tested one thing at a time. I haven't play tested the other missions, but with one thing at a time, you do fight enemies in there. They kind of give you a sample to the alerts that you have in regard to crimes, and after completing stopping that crime within the mission one thing at a time, you get XP. And after you finish the mission one thing at a time, I noticed that I had an extra 800 XP. But the only way I could figure that out was to, number one, start a new game plus game save before doing the mission to see what my XP total was from that previous game save, and then go back to the previous game save, play one thing at a time, look at the XP total once I restarted another new game plus game save, and compare the two totals of XP. But that's only if you don't reach the maximum level of the ultimate level. If you have ultimate level max and you say want to gain XP through say one thing at a time, like I said, it's only 800 a pop, but you won't really be able to see if you didn't do another new game plus game save as to how much XP you've earned and how much you may have accumulated through stopping crimes or air tricks. For example, when I do my third playthrough for New Game Plus, I'll never know just how much more XP I've gained beyond this ultimate level 9. And who knows, this DLC may not take us beyond another level of XP. And I'll never know how much XP I've ever really gained beyond max. But I have a sneaky suspicion that they might do that. It seems kind of awkward to just leave us off at level 9. Which, like I said, kind of is another tell that some aspect of XP may be needed for something in regard to unlocking other suits, some aspect maybe of new suit tech, who knows, or gadget styles, for example, or even perhaps some type of new gadget ability that might be needed in the game. Either way, when the option to unlock the suit or the gadget or suit tech becomes available, I should have enough currency, right at the start to unlock it, or when it, like I said, when it becomes available. Because this next new game plus game save or playthrough will give me more tech parts, rare tech parts, city tokens, and hero tokens, as well as XP. So I should be covered for whatever may be needed. Who knows if they decide to do anything with the skills. I doubt that they will, but interestingly enough, by the time you finish doing all this, your skills in the game, you actually have 5 extra skill points, which seems awkward. So, one never knows what may come about with this next new DLC. But I have a sneaking suspicion that this next New Game Plus playthrough will prepare me for whatever's needed for it. And also to, this next New Game Plus gameplay playthrough, I can go ahead and validate another role-playing experience with the different suits in the game. And it's also to my attempt at making these additional playthroughs interesting. So for this next New Game Plus playthrough, I've created a what-if storyline to try to validate the different suits and maintain as much consistency with the game's plot and dialogue. This is actually my third, like I said, New Game Plus playthrough. The previous 2 New Game Plus playthroughs, I did 2 other what-if scenarios, What If Miles and What If Otto. So do enjoy those videos if you'd like to see how I implemented that concept. But yes, the what if concept I'm definitely borrowing from Marvel's What If. Where they discover, you just explore different scenarios beyond the normal canon of the Marvel storylines. They're really cool, the comics and as well as the animation. But yes, so for me, for this next New Game Plus playthrough, I'm doing a what if S.H.I.E.L.D. Scenario. So in my inspiration for this what if S.H.I.E.L.D. comes from, the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. suit here from Miles Morales, as well as the opening cinematic in the game in Oscorp's lab, and the dialogue about the hive mind that you get, after the mission. It shows you. That's explained about the symbiote, and also to the Flame final mission. It was meant for me, where it's discussed that Oscorp is sending out samples for safekeeping, and like I said, from the first cinematic that you see in the game when you start a new game, which you can't skip, and the sort of last mention of things with the symbiote from the Flame, stating that Oscorp sent it out for samples. Those is a huge two key points to my next New Game Plus playthrough. So as you can see in this beginning opening cinematic, there's a huge symbiote in the back, which explains where they're getting all these various different samples from. And you actually never do see this symbiote in that size or that capacity anywhere else in the game. And also too, it would be cool if Insomniac Games explores this opening cinematic more, or gives a little bit more of a backstory, because in the cinematic it shows clearly that Harry Osborn is, receiving the symbiote from Norman Osborn, as if he may have tested it on himself before he gave it to his son. Not really sure. They don't explain this cinematic outside of Harry talking about having bad dreams. But so who knows? Maybe this is some kind of dream. But it doesn't seem like a dream. Nevertheless, though, this opening cinematic with the symbiote in that tank in the background is my inspiration for why this what if S.H.I.E.L.D. scenario takes place. So essentially, it's what if S.H.I.E.L.D. receives a symbiote sample from Oscorp, and in my synopsis or summary of my what if scenario, I refer to the symbiote that S.H.I.E.L.D. has as the S.H.I.E.L.D. symbiote, or the S.H.I.E.L.D.'s symbiote, and of course the symbiote that Oscorp has, or was given to Harry as the Oscorp symbiote. So with everything to kept in mind about the two main key points to my little scenario with this what if S.H.I.E.L.D. is that, like I said, there's an S.H.I.E.L.D. symbiote and there's an Oscorp symbiote. And with everything in mind, let's explore my little synopsis of my what if. And by the way, the key elements for my what if S.H.I.E.L.D. backstory, does take into account my suit selections, as well as the key plot points and dialogue. Just want to cover that too. So without further ado, what if S.H.I.E.L.D. obtained a symbiote from Oscorp? What if S.H.I.E.L.D. experimented on their symbiote and were able to detach it from the collective hive mind? What if this detachment from the hive mind caused the S.H.I.E.L.D. symbiote not to be weak from sonic sounds and lack the ability to heal its host? What if the S.H.I.E.L.D. symbiote did not take over its host, but instead caused the host to think they always had the symbiote to maintain its bond with the symbiote? What if the S.H.I.E.L.D. had tested their symbiote against collected genetic samples and discovered that Peter Parker was the best match to be the host for the symbiote? What if Peter volunteered to bond with the symbiote and forgot what happened, thinking he always had the symbiote? What if everyone who knew Peter as Spider-Man played along with his memory loss in order to not disturb S.H.I.E.L.D.'s experiment? What if S.H.I.E.L.D. recruited Miles Morales to watch over Peter Parker to ensure everyone's safety? What if S.H.I.E.L.D. encouraged Miles with a fully paid college tuition, S.H.I.E.L.D. training, and access to their S.H.I.E.L.D. tech? What if after Harry Osborn inadvertently gave his Oscorp symbiote to Peter, the hive mind was trying to bring the S.H.I.E.L.D. symbiote back into the collective hive mind? What if Peter could ultimately host two symbiotes, which aided Miles and Martin Lee in transforming Peter into Anti-Venom? So that's my synopsis, shall we say, backstory to What If S.H.I.E.L.D. So what if S.H.I.E.L.D. ... question mark. What if S.H.I.E.L.D. obtained an Oscorp sample of the symbiote? Now, my characterization for Peter in this scenario will play out a little bit differently than my other playthroughs. I'm going to be doing a lot less web slinging, or web swinging, shall we say, through the city, but more bounding and leaping and web line zipping, a little bit more primal in the manner of which he's sort of traversing through the city. Kind of a little bit more like the way they show Venom jumping through the city. So he's going to be doing a lot more leaping and bounding, a little bit of web winging, but a lot less sort of say web swinging through the city. Just like I said, to kind of role play and add a little bit more character to this look with Peter. And then also too, I'll be far more aggressive in his manner of combat with this suit look. I think that's going to play out well. Now, Miles is going to play out pretty much the way I have been before. It's not going to be too much of a difference in the way that I'll characterize him and the way that I'll be moving around throughout the city. Now, one particular key point is I won't be changing Peter's suit in a unlisted mission which comes up in between One Thing at a Time and Show Me New York. He'll make a statement that his suit is Sandy, and that's the name of this unlisted mission. Suit is Sandy, and feels as though he needs to change his suit. Now, during one of my other earlier playthroughs, I was able to avoid activating this sort of unlisted mission by doing other things, not knowing that I was going to do that. So with this, I'm going to purposely, avoid, queuing that mission by doing other things, and hopefully avoid queuing his dialogue as well, just to try to maintain some immersion within this characterization of Peter already having a symbiote. Now, I won't be using any of Miles's evolved Venom abilities until the mission Not On My Watch, because he makes a pretty bold statement about it, feeling uncontrollable and playing out, or just being honest and open with Peter and then later MJ about feeling like this is a new thing. Now, in my opinion, you could go either way with using his venom abilities early on in the game, or and of course, definitely after that moment in um, the mission not on my watch, because the previous game, he does absorb all that new form energy and it's blue. And though they don't state it in this game, I'm quite sure that's where that aspect originally manifested in him. And perhaps in the very beginning mission with surface tension, when he absorbs the lightning to help defeat the Sandman, he it kind of triggers an element of manifestation by absorbing all that lightning, and then emotionally being able to release it once he starts seeing Martin Lee and Not on My Watch. So, however, one might want to role play Miles's abilities. You can kind of go a lot of different ways. But for this playthrough, I'm going to kind of make it a little bit more, in line with what the game normally does for you as far as unlocking his abilities, and not do any of the evolved Venom abilities until Not on My Watch. Now, another key point for Peter is the fact that I'll be using the spider shock arms, even though I'm starting out the game and my storyline does involve him already having a symbiote, because in the mission Surface Tension, they beat the Sandman by using the spider shock arms, as well as when you start the next mission One Thing at a Time, there's this cinematic that you are really sort of cut scene, so to speak, in the gameplay that you can't cut. You can't skip it. You cannot skip it, where they show Peter using the spider arms to lift some boulders, no, not boulders, rather, some concrete away from citizens to help rescue them. Also, too, there's another point in the game where when you're doing the flame final mission here, it was meant for me, he's using the spider shock arms to disable the bombs. So I'm going to cue that mission and make sure it's accomplished before Peter actually becomes anti-venom. Because at that point, when he becomes anti-venom, I would like to go ahead and use all the symbiote abilities. So you could actually do that final flame mission at various different times depending on when you have it activated, but it does not become available until later on in the game for a reason. Because it plays in line with their prophecy. But still, you could complete it after he becomes anti-venom, or just a little bit before he becomes anti-venom. For me, I want to do it before he becomes anti-venom, so that I can let go of these spider shock arms at that point and go ahead and switch to the remainder of the symbiote abilities. And with that in mind, Peter is going to be I'm going to maintain this white symbiote Tendrils until he gains the symbiote from Harry in the mission Good Men. And that for me, in my synopsis or my scenario backstory of what if S.H.I.E.L.D., that's when Peter's going to be, inhabited or hosting rather two symbiotes at that point. And the Oscorp symbiote is going to, internally be trying to bring the S.H.I.E.L.D. symbiote that was experimented on back into the hive mind, or the collective hive mind. But at that point, like I said, I'm going to switch his tendril color to black when that happens, to represent that change. And then when Peter becomes anti-venom and the mission, set things right, Yes, and set things right, that's when we'll go ahead and make the switch to this anti-venom looking symbiote suit here and maintain the black tendrils. I think that's going to look really good. And like I said, we'll also to have the full symbiote abilities to work with at that point too. Now, tendril color can go either way for folks, depending on how they feel about it. It looks good either way. To me, it really does sort of appear that the tendrils are kind of coming out of the symbiote emblem and arms on the spider in the emblem for the most part. Now, they do, of course, come out of the rest of the suit or the symbiote that's wrapped around the body, but when you actually do like a little photo mode here, you can actually see how they're rather prominent and seem to be coming out of the spider emblem almost more so than the rest of the suit. Now, one could think of it either way they want to go, but I think having the white arms coming out the white spider does look good. And then for the later on having the black arms coming out of the black spider emblem. Whichever way you go with it, it does look good, even when I'll make that transition to the black arms coming out when, like I said, in my scenario, he's being inhabited by two symbiotes, the Oscorp symbiote from Harry and the S.H.I.E.L.D symbiote that he starts out with. Nevertheless, with this third mission here, third New Game Plus playthrough, as far as Miles on his costumes are concerned, like I said, I'm going to stick with the S.H.I.E.L.D. suit, and with my backstory to What If S.H.I.E.L.D., with Miles gaining S.H.I.E.L.D. Training, S.H.I.E.L.D. tech, and of course within the gameplay you get the Hunter tech from the Hunter crates, as well as tech from his uncle. After you complete the Prowler stashes, I'm going to have this suit, the Encoded suit, during the final mission. I'll equip it just before the segment in the finally free, and that will be his Miles Morales original, to when Peter asked him, is that suit an alien? So I think that'll be a nice input for this suit here. I really do like it a lot. So that pretty much wraps up my what if S.H.I.E.L.D. scenario. Like I said, the key takeaway is that S.H.I.E.L.D. obtains a sample of the symbiote from Oscorp, and they experiment on it, and Peter volunteers to receive it, but forgets he ever went through the experiment, and thinks that he always had the symbiote, and that's the maintenance of the symbiote maintaining the bond with him, and Miles decides to, safeguard him with some bonuses from S.H.I.E.L.D. in the process, including this nice suit here that he'll be wearing. But again, it will be, functionally purposeful for, preparation for the new DLC that's due, hopefully sometime in the near future, and covering my bases for XP, tech parts, rare tech parts, city tokens, and hero tokens. And I hope everything comes together without a hitch, and my efforts won't be in vain, even if they are in regard to acquiring the currency. I'll get to see how this plays out with this what if role playing gameplay, and hopefully everyone, or you all will tune in and enjoy the show, and thank you for taking the time to hear my explanation for this next New Game Plus playthrough. And in my next video, I'll be live streaming the first episode of What If S.H.I.E.L.D. Thank you again, take care, and enjoy.